Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy KieKey, also known as Key, and today we are talking about Fallout London, why it's releasing soon, the information / exhibits to know that it's releasing soon, and some more information here and there. Remember that if the devs haven't explicitly stated it, then it's just my personal opinion, so don't worry about it. Also, more important news, got a new mask. It's a white t-shirt, enjoy. Okay, so we're going to talk about something that was posted on the Fallout 4 London subreddit. There's been a bit of drama with the Fallout 4 subreddit compared to the Discord. We'll get into that this video as well. There's been a lot of speculation regarding our upcoming release, and we want it to be open and clear the air for our core supporters. Bottom line is we've sent several builds over to GOG for QA testing, and we are waiting for the final green light. Once they've completed the process of double checking that Fallout London and its installer works on all supported machines, we should be good to go. They've got their own installer and downgrader too. This will be something I'll mention in the video later as well. The downgrader, it's caused a bit of hoo-ha. It is in all our interest that the final QA process is carried out in full. We are very thankful that GOG is assisting. While it may not seem like a lot is going on, we can assure that the heads of the departments have been working non-stop to make the release as good as it could be. The end is in sight. Stay safe and remember, mind the gap. And then we get this lovely picture of an individual with a prosthetic arm who I'm guessing is sort of a main character of the game. I think they are. I can't remember which ones. Could be like the Syndicate or something like that. But I unfortunately cannot remember because I'm getting old and my brain isn't as good as it used to be. But the main interesting thing is that, they talk about due to feedback and the state of the next-gen release. The next-gen release basically ruined everything for mods. But mods, Bethesda wasn't really thinking of that. They were thinking about the Fallout TV show, putting a next-gen stability mod out for the PS5, Xbox Series X, stuff like that, PC. Kind of ruined things for PC, but the consoles, it looks like it came out all right. The next-gen release, however, ruined everything for mods. Like, I think NPCs go like haywire, they go crazy because of it. They all start massive stuttering outside. There's a lot of stuff which means it was basically unbearable to Fallout London and other mods that were being either developed or already developed. We will include an FAQ, frequently asked questions, and guide on how to install and use the downgrader. And then, a lot of thank yous, a lot of like happy birthdays. Hope it's less than a week. It's my birthday. That's cool. And Fallout London, Nigerian, they're making hoo-has that the fact the Reddit and the Discord, Reddit and the moderators were kind of at war a little bit. Not a little bit, but a fair amount. We'll go into this week and I'll show you what I mean. I believe, here it is. It is PELAGIC. He's a project manager. He's talking about understanding the frustration and it's how frustrating for them and the developers. Comments in this lobby are sometimes taken out of context, like my supposed official statement. His official statement that he's on about was this one here in the updates, where he said, update, we have days and week until his release. Everyone, we have a new date. Stay safe and remember, mind the gap. So everyone was like, whoa, it's gonna be released. Yeah. However, Prilla then explains how it was a internal one in this one here. But we'll go through this now. I will say that Reddit isn't a primary platform for us, but even so, only official accounts should be taken as definite. Other developers are posting are just humans with their own lives. Basically, there was not miscommunication between the devs, but some devs were saying one things, other devs were saying another things. It was a little bit messy, but hey, it's their first big mod, and okay, there's things that could be done better, there's things that could have been done worse, there's things to always improve on, and as long as you have that mindset that you always want to improve on something, jobs are good, and that's all you can do. As long as you give it 110% each and every time, jobs are good. And anyway, enough with the deep talk. We'll continue more with his Fallout London stuff. Most devs often chat here on Discord or in the voice chat. It's probably the best place to find out what we are going on. So I agree. There has been a bit of hoo-ha in that the Patreon had the release date first. So a lot of people on Reddit were like, what's it saying? Has anyone got the Patreon? At the end of the day, they're modders. They're doing it for free. I don't think you can make any money if any Bethesda mods anyway. Bethesda kind of put that in the grave unless it's creations. But again, that's a story for another day. We'll go on to the second screenshot here. Big hoo-ha, but it's probably blown out of proportion just because of how the fact everyone's waited since the 23rd of April. Everyone just gets a bit restless, don't they? It is what it is. But, regarding the week and days comment that PELAGIC made, that was an offhand comment for mainly myself, trying to manage expectations. Weeks is more accurate for all. Remember, the announcement was for us, so he's talking about the dev team there, which has a new date, which is something that we didn't have before at all. Moving forward, for us, the devs, this could be a matter of days. However, weeks comes from external factors, necessary process. It's still soon, but soon is relative to each and every one of you. Obviously, there's ways that they could have made this better. They could have maybe had their own developers announcements, but then people were getting restless that the last thing was done on the 18th of the 5th. So it's a lose-lose scenario. What with it being past the 23rd or 24th of April, its release date, people were getting a bit up in arms. The main two people I would discuss is PELAGIC and Sunny Delight. We'll look at PELAGIC's all his stuff. We'll talk about the London Fallout thing. It's the same thing as the Reddit. All devs here have access to the builds, but not many wish to download nearly 150 gigs of dev files. Wild. This bit here, we certainly did over complex quests, which caused immense stress on the scripting team. It's great because your choices have lasting impacts, so that's pretty cool. Put it this way, we played it through several times now, to the point some of our testers can quote almost every single voice acting line. If you play it as intended and have fun, I think it's a fun and well-written quest line and works as intended. Very interesting that we have just got from here, meaning if they played through it several times, that means I've had it for at least a few days. You can't play it several times in a single day. That would be impossible. Let's be real. Again, he's quite restless. Before I get copied and pasted on Reddit, which we don't use, which then begs the question, why have the Reddit? But I guess anyone can make a Reddit subreddit nowadays, right? We sent several builds over the QA testing, and now we're just waiting for the final green light. Nobody's to blame. Red tape be red tape. We've done everything we can our side, and we should have an update or a mod for you to play soon. That means they're doing nothing else on this mod now. They are letting it get QA'd by Good Old Games, GOG, and they're going from there. People think Fallout London is easiest just to upload it or release it. It's insane. There's about 70 gigs, so there's probably a lot of things to have a look at. And this is probably the most interesting comment. Very soon, it's basically almost out of our hands. You guys are not the only one twiddling thumbs. This says to me that they have fully sent everything to GOG. They're not doing nothing now. And now, another person of interest is going to be Sunny Delight, capital S. D. Sunny Delight. He also has some insights into some more information to why I think it's going to be released either this week or next week. I would probably more infer in a few days. So we are going to have a look. There's just a lot of little comments here. Someone was talking about changing charisma to Riz, which is interesting. I'm pretty old. I don't really understand what Riz means because I'm an old man. He's talking about how he's finished the main quest on level 33. He was on a mission to test the main quests and avoid getting sidetracked as much as possible. The last playthrough I did to test was on normal. This is on the 2nd of the 7th. That is 4 days ago. Maybe not on the first playthrough. We can assure you it would be difficult maintaining stim packs and arrows. It's not been unusual that you'd be carrying 4 to 5 range weapons and at least 1 melee at one time. So we can assure you it will boulder onto Dark Souls difficulty level of survival, which is very, very interesting. Our game is harder than vanilla. Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. These two things. This two thing is giving me a lot of pondering. This is my own opinion on the matter. If we go to Good Old Games and their docs, you go to quality assurance. It then talks about everything you do in quality assurance to get the game on their version of Steam. So quality assurance, once you've performed the actions described in the build delivery, which is this, we will talk about this in a bit, that is, you upload your release candidate to the developer portal. It is past your internal tests. They've done the internal tests on the 2nd, I believe, from what I understand. Again, Prilla yesterday has talked about how people have played it several times now, to the point our testers can quote the voice acting lines. That to me sounds like it has passed the internal tests. And if they played it multiple times, that could have been yesterday when he made that comment. It could have been a few days before that. Probably a few days before that, with how wary they've been to release information. I think they've actually done it a few days before and then said it because people have been getting a bit tetchy. It's fine though, it's fine. And you informed your project manager the game will then undergo a series of tests performed by IQA team. So the internal tests are not going to be as rigorous, not going to be as thorough as the QA team. The QA team are going to do a very, very big, thorough work to make sure that people can enjoy it on launch. 1.0 is the most stable, less buggy thing in the world, basically, from that standpoint. Aside from checking the game to make sure there are no major bugs or crashes, we're also going to check the game for any DRM, as all games in GOG have to be playable offline and without the Galaxy client. Very interesting. If the build you sent is not a release client, they're just going to do basic checks. However, more thorough tests will be carried out on the release candidate build, meaning they'll just go through everything, and if there is any bugs, any minor ones, send it to the devs, get it fixed. If any issues are found, you will be informed by your project manager. QA comments and logs will often be attached to this message. So if it's anything like normal QA, you will probably talk about the location, the time, what you were doing at that point. If you were like shooting, if you were in speaking, those sort of comments, those sort of feedbacks will help massively. It will help the developers really pinpoint exactly what you were doing at the time, and it will be attached with a message. So the QA comments and logs, the logs will be all the technical aspect, like saying, oh, it was in this square here, it was in this little, like COC, it was in this little coded bit here, it was in this little location here, this is the time, this is why it crashed. And then comments will be like, oh, I was shooting at this barrel and the game crashed on me, I was going against the main quest, I was shooting all the main quests, something like that. And that will really help out the developers fine tune and speed the process up to getting the game out. So from what I understand from Prilla saying all this stuff yesterday, and from Sunny Delight, again, this is my own opinion, don't hate them, but if they're saying all this stuff on the 2nd of the 7th, 4 days ago, I reckon it will be released next week. I reckon they'll release it on a Friday or like a Wednesday. Everything on GOG is released at 3 PM. I have heard it will either be this week or next week at the latest, but I believe this week. Okay? I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's given you a bit more insight on Fallout London. Again, this is all my opinion, so is what it is. Like, comment, subscribe, all that shebang. And with that being said, outro music and boosh!